Today we're going to be focusing on strengthening our core for our low back because it's very important after a lower back injury and for prevention of a back injury to strengthen our core here. So the core is actually comprised of the front that I just represented, our back, and the erectors, and the pelvic floor. So we're going to learn how to contract that. So put your thumbs at the base of your ribs and your fingers at the pointy part of your hip. So you don't want to make that area smaller when you're contracting. You want to keep it the same size. When you're sucking your belly button in towards your spine and up a little bit. Now this is a very minute movement, so suck it just like a couple millimeters towards your spine and up a couple millimeters. And now almost squeeze your pelvic floor as if you're trying to hold and disrupt the flow of urination. And that will help to complete the contraction of the core. And you can test this by lifting your heels as I just demonstrated here. And when you're lifting your heels, make sure that the hip bones, so the pointy part, are not moving and the arch in your back is not moving at all. So you want to keep that arch where it is. You actually don't want it to be flattened. You just want to hold the core where it is to stabilize the back. This is a very natural position. So now that we got that, let's move on towards functional stability. We're going to keep your back nice and straight and teach it how to keep nice and straight. So the first part here is you're just going to be lifting your knees an inch off of the mat. So it looks like this. You're holding everything tight just like we practiced. The belly button towards the spine, the pelvic floor, and then lower your knees down. And we're going to hold it up in just a moment here. And lift. So we're going to hold these for about 10 seconds. And when we rest, we're just going to hold for about 5 seconds. And lower. Good, and lift. Remember, keep that pelvic floor tight. Disrupt the flow of pee. Keep your belly button in and lower your knees. You'll have to constantly repeat this in your head so that you make sure to do it every single time to practice it. And again, lift your knees off. Just hover them an inch off the floor. It's not a huge movement. It's just practice to keep your spine nice and straight and lower. And lift, tight core, pelvic floor, and lower. And again, lift your knees. Hold everything tight. Don't let your neck drop. Try to keep it straight with the rest of your spine and lower the knees. Again, lift your knees up. We're going to try to do a total of 10 here. Your arms may be burning, or your legs may be burning, or your core may be burning. If you need to take a break, just pause the video and pick back up where you left off. And lift your knees again. And lower. Good, so flatten out your feet. Don't curl your toes anymore. We're going to move on. So we're going to just bring our knee up like this and lowering it back down. So the entire time we're not moving our spine. We're keeping our core so tight. Our leg is the only thing that's trying to press between our two arms. And back down. Remember, try to keep everything nice and sturdy. Bring your knee between the two arms. and control the movement back. It's very important that you're stabilizing the core, keeping the belly button towards the spine, keeping the pelvic floor contracted as you're doing these movements. Keep repeating this in your head. Knee between the arms, belly button, pelvic floor, and down. Knee, belly button, pelvic floor. Keep bringing it between the arms. And maintain the core contraction and lower. And lower the knee. Again, keep repeating this. Don't let your neck drop. Keep it straight with the rest of your spine. Imagine a board on the back of your head and on your tailbone that's completely in contact. And now we're going to give our arms a break. Just gently recover in child's pose position. Let your arms completely relax. Take a few breaths here. Let that burning sensation subside. And if you need to, you can even rest your arms by your side like this. As long as you're keeping them nice and relaxed and they're not burning anymore. That's all we want here when we're recovering. So now we're going to go on to the next phase. Just lift your arms one at a time as you're keeping your core and spine completely straight and stabilized and not rotating in any bit. And down. Now the other side, up and down. You'll notice that the weight in your knees shift. Try to minimize that shift as much as possible with the contraction of your core. Remember, that's bringing your core tight by bringing your belly button towards your spine and holding your pelvic floor. Switch to the other side. And switch arms. We're preparing the body for complete bird dogs, they're called. At any moment, if progressions get too hard, you just stick with the intensity and the difficulty that you did previous. So if this is too hard for you, go back to the knee between the arms. But for now, recover in child's pose and do that next time if you need to. Alright, so let's move on to the next phase. You're going to try to lift your opposite hand to knee just an inch or two off the floor as you maintain stability in your core and maintain very, very, very minimal movement in your torso. You want to keep as square as possible. And switch. And down. and switch. So it may not look like I'm lifting the knee a lot. It's because I'm only lifting it a slight inch off the floor. So continue to do that. Lift it an inch off the floor and down. Just getting your body used to this movement now. Extend just your leg back. Again, the same principles apply. Bring the belly button towards the spine, squeezing the pelvic floor, and not moving the spine or rotating the torso. Switch legs. And down. And switch. Imagine there's a string from your toes that's pulling and lengthening your entire body. And down. Other side. Lengthen. Tight core. Pelvic floor. And gently recover down. So notice how there's no arching in my spine. There's no heavy twisting in my torso at all. Everything's staying very tight to protect my back. Switch to the other side. And down. Switch to the other side again. And down. And switch. Keep repeating tight core and pelvic floor in your head. And down. And switch. And down. And switch. Tight core, pelvic floor. And now recover in child's pose again. Don't forget to inhale and exhale here. And let your body recuperate. Because we're going to go into an even more intense core exercise right after this. So we're going to recover back to all fours on our hands and knees, and we're going to do the next phase. Now this is not the full bird dog, but I'm going to get you to reach both your arm and your leg out. Hold it, keep everything nice and tight, pelvic floor and core, and recover back down without moving your torso. Now do the other side, opposite hand and leg. Hold it and gently lower down. The movement up is just important as controlling the movement down and moving the arm and leg at the exact same time. And control the movement down. Again, no movement in the spine. Keep the core and pelvic floor tight. And arm and leg moving equal. And other side. Hold. Keep the neck nice and straight as well. And recover back to the starting position. Opposite side. Almost like a Superman, think of it as flying through the sky. And back down. Keep everything tight. Keep repeating that in your head. Core and pelvic floor. Good. And switch again. We have a few more on each side here. Good. Keep going here. Nice and intentional with the movements, being very conscious about how much you're moving and how much you're not moving. Good, and gently recover. Switch sides again, really reach, elongate, keep the spine nice and straight. No rotation and very minimal movement in the core. All the movement should be just in the extremities of the leg and the arm. Again, switch sides. And down. And switch. And down. And switch. And down. So now again, recover and take this time in child's pose. Really inhale and exhale. Alleviate any tension or burning sensation that you have. And if you need to, pause this video, get some water. Now the next step we're going to be doing is full bird dogs. So if this is too intense for you, just do the exact exercise we did before this, if bringing your elbow to your knee is too challenging for you. Keep resting here in child's pose. And now let's recover up onto all fours. Now reach out and bring your knee towards your elbow. Do not move your spine and your torso, and then extend back out and then down. So you're going to reach out, touch your elbow to your opposite knee, reach out again, and then back down. Switch sides. Reach out, opposite elbow to knee, reach out again, and recover back. So when you switch, notice how my spine is not moving, very, very minimal movement, as I'm trying my best to keep my core completely straight and stabilized. Switch sides. Bring your knee towards your elbow. Reach up and down. Switch sides here. Keep going as best you can. If you cannot completely touch your elbow to your knee, but you can come close, that's all I ask. You will improve, because you don't want your butt to come and tuck inwards and bend your spine. You want to keep your back as straight as possible. It's more, so we're just going to do 2 more here starting now. So we're going to reach out, make contact if you can, reach, and back down. Up, touch, up, and lower. So we're going to briefly recover in child's pose once more and prepare for side planks. This is another amazing exercise to help to stabilize the spine, and I'm going to show you a couple variations as well. So whatever side you want to do first, it doesn't matter because we're going to do both. Stack your heels on top of one another, but if that's too difficult, bend your bottom knee and support your hips in completely straight alignment with your rib cage and your neck. Don't let your hips fall towards the floor here. Breathe and inhale. Keep just your toe on the floor. Keep your core and pelvic floor nice and stabilized and tight and contracted. And hold that just for a few more moments. We're going to do it for a total of about 30 seconds. Do your best here. And if you have pain, just regress and just hold the knee positions we did at the beginning where you just lifted your knees off the floor. So you could actually just roll towards the other side. You don't have to completely shift your body like I did here, if it's easier. So start with your heels stacked, or one foot stepped in front of the other, or you can completely bend your bottom knee like I'm doing here and holding this position in side plank. You may notice that you're feeling tired, your body's shaking, your core's shaking, but just do the best that you can and hold it as long as you can, as long as you're holding the proper position. I would rather you do it less time and properly for better quality than just pushing through it with crappy posture and crappy positioning. So if you're reaching a point where your body's telling you enough's enough, recover and lower like I just did. Let's go on to our back, and we're going to go into what's known as crocodile twists. So stack your right heel in between your big toe and your middle toe, and you're going to twist towards the left. This is going to be working the part in your back, T9, 10, 11, and 12. This is a segment in your spine that's just below your rib cage, and it's responsible for the movement of rotation when you're walking. You know, when you're swinging your arms, you should rotate, and you should rotate right at those segments. And if you're not, you're going to have a very difficult time doing this movement. And I want you to try to keep your upper body completely relaxed. It's only the lower body that's twisting into this position. When I first did this exercise, it was very difficult for me because I didn't have a lot of that thoracic lower spine movement. And a lot of people do not. So it's a great opportunity to fix that. And then we're going to recover and switch feet. So switch sides because we're going to rotate towards the right now. And try to do it without using the pressure from your upper body. And try not to use your arms at all to push you into this position. Now, the ultimate goal here is to get your feet both flat on the floor like you see me here. But initially, this might seem almost impossible at first. But just do your best. With every time you do this video, it will get better and better and easier and easier. And when it gets better and easier, you know that your mechanics, especially in your spine in these areas, are moving a lot more efficiently to help prevent any future injury. So really relax into this position. We have a few more moments here. We're holding it about a minute each side. We have about 20 more seconds here. Keep repeating to yourself, relax the upper body. Relax the upper body. And slowly recover and untwist your body. So hug your knees towards your chest. And because we just finished a rotational exercise, we're going to work on a flexion and extension exercise to balance it out and get you back straight, essentially. So we're going to do cat and camels. So tuck and then look up to the ceiling. Try to bend your spine equally. Tuck everything up and look up. Tuck everything in and look up. So keep repeating this pattern a few more. We're going to do a total of 10 here. Really be intentional with the movement and try to focus on each segment in your spine, completing the movement. Few more here. Look up and crunch everything in again. Really tuck that pelvis in and look up and tuck. Last thing we're going to do is practicing how to properly hinge at our hips. So when we're hinging, we're going to try to sit back on our heels, keep everything tight. So the same tightness in our core, that's what we're achieving here. Now I don't want you to lean forward like this. That's not right. You want to push your hips back as if you're trying to close a door with your glutes as you sit back and squeeze your glutes to press yourself up. We're going to do a total of 10, so do 8 more here. And squeeze everything up. So again, repeat in your head, core, pelvic floor, and sit back, hinge at the hips, and squeeze the glutes to come back up. Again, we're not tucking our pelvis in here, and we're not arching our back. We're keeping a nice natural curve as we're working our glutes and teaching our body these mechanics. We're not leaning forward, we're hinging at our hips. This movement is coming from our hips. Our backs are staying straight just as we practiced with the bird dogs. And our glutes are working to help practice how to pick things up as we're leaning forward to pick an object or anything like that up to prevent any issues in the future. And that's a wrap. I want to thank you for taking time to watch and try out this video. You're definitely on the right track to helping your back recover and increasing the strength of your core to prevent any future injuries. And if you know someone else in your life who would fit the bill for this, make sure to share this video with them. If you liked this video, please subscribe so that you'll be one of the first to be notified when I release a new video. Thanks for all your support and stay healthy.